ILES Last updated 0500, September 24, 2017. Should low wages be forced to rise? Two economists disagree on the answer. Promises to combat inequality were big this election cycle, yet the reality of household income and wage inequality in New Zealand will not be a single policy fix. New Zealand Initiative Chief Economist Dr. Eric Crampton says what drives wages is productivity, and that's something the entire employment ecosystem has a role in. The minimum wage starts to threaten jobs when it is high enough to be severely binding. Eric Crampton says crackdowns on below minimum wage work do more harm than good. When you make it too expensive to hire people that are lower productivity, then they just don't get hired, he said. Read more. Jump in the cost of living may spark higher wage demands. National feels the squeeze from low-paid packhouse staff. Shamubili Cup. New Zealand has a productivity problem. New Zealand Council of Trade Unions Director of Policy Bill Rosenberg said the minimum wage increases were an important component in wage growth. But New Zealand Council of Trade Unions Director of Policy Bill Rosenberg said the minimum wage increases were an important component in wage growth for the lowest bracket of earners over the past 20 years. A study by the New Zealand Council of Trade Unions found there was a 40% leaps in real wages before tax and benefits for the highest and lowest 10% of earners. But for those in the middle, wage growth between 1998 and 2015 was much less, lower middle earners seeing increases in the range of 18 to 20%. The hourly wages of workers over a 17-year period show things are less rosy for those wanting raises in the middle. It is surprising that the minimum wage does not support a greater ripple effect up the wage scale. The study also found lower incomes rose faster during a Liberal government in the early 2000s than in previous or subsequent national governments, and there was a faster rise in hours worked under national. Wage inequality rose under both governments, though there was a suggestion of a pause towards the end of Liberal government. According to the study, there was less inequality among weekly wages, but this was attributed to workers on lower wages working increasingly longer hours, and the highest 40% of wage earners reducing the amount of hours they worked. The study also found many workers were being paid below the adult minimum wage. Rosenberg said this called for more labor inspectors to enforce minimum conditions. Crampton said he was nervous crackdowns like that did more harm than good. Those are jobs that you'd be especially worried about disappearing, or folks being thrown out of work that they need. Crampton said minimum wage increases poorly target the lowest earners and raise the cost of living, especially for poorer families. He said a lot of minimum wage jobs are held by second earners in a higher income family. Second earner workers are less likely to be unemployed by minimum wage hikes because they're coming in with higher skills anyway. Crampton said taxes and benefits were better at redistributing income to those that needed it most. New Zealand's minimum wage is 60% of its median wage, the seventh highest ratio in the OECD. The living wage is currently 85% of the median wage, at $20.20. The minimum wage has gone from $12 in 2008 to $15.75, a point Bill English was challenged on the campaign trail by Gisborne fruit worker Robin Lane this month. "You've raised it $3.75 over 9 years," she said. "Now, how would you like it if your hourly rate went up $3.75 over a period of 9 years?" English said there was no doubt it was a challenge, but consistent moderate increases was how the floor rises. Stuff.